We're gonna integrate all these important components into one practice. If we have a sadhana practice, for example, we integrate everything in it. We don't need to practice here and there, like a Vajrasattva practice, purification practice, mandala accumulation practice here, and just one text, one framework, then we incorporate everything. Guru Yoga there, then when Guru came, then that's the time we practice this Shamatha Vipassana and resting Kusaru practice. Whatever time we would like to spend that, maybe 20 minutes, maybe you can set the timer, and after Guru came, then set and so forth. Then move on once that time is up. That's how we practice every day. It's kind of a routine, like a brushing our teeth. When we get up, we feel like brushing, without that it feels a bit weird. So like that, we get used to them. Yeah, some people practice separately all these important component. Because in terms of teaching, I focus on a specific subject. So now we know all the things, how to do it. Important thing for us practitioner is to how to integrate all these practice into one seamless practice. Otherwise, all over, practice become fragmental, and also pick and choose. And sometimes we don't feel like doing this too much, so then we avoid. Or sometimes I just wanted to rest, so I just wanted the resting one, not the other thinking mind involved, not that stuff or something like that. The practitioner, so important to have a balance. Even last weekend, we emphasize, we practice this Khenpo Ganshao's resting meditation, Mahamudra ultimate meditation. But for that to be effective, we need to do all this groundwork, as you guys know already. For that purpose, we need to integrate all these different kind of practice into one practice, so to speak. So, having said that, I think it's good to have a text and practice. Right now, at this moment, what we have is this Guru Yoga practice and the preliminary practice in the beginning of the Ganden practice. So use that one as a framework. This has everything, actually. This has the foundation practice, preliminary practice, so-called, and the Guru Yoga. After Guru Yoga, the review of the entire map of the path to enlightenment, either source of all good qualities or the three principal aspects of path, right? So it has everything in it. So review that. Then after that, the Guru comes into your heart, then your mind and the Guru's awakened mind become one. After that, we rest. Then we do this realization song to just remind this ultimate bodhicitta. It's so important to go over or review or rest in ultimate bodhicitta every day. By reciting this, thinking about it, meditating on it, resting on it, then that helps. That's called practice. After that, the Tonren practice, just a short one paragraph Tonren practice gives you framework to get used to this Tonren practice. Tonren prayer, taking and giving prayers with melody if possible. Then just spend maybe whatever time, 5 minutes, even 5 minutes, do a Tonren practice every day, so with breath. First, maybe recite or chant 3 times in Tibetan with melody slowly. After that, just without thinking those words, just meditate, contemplate, imagine all sentient beings, then inhale and taking in the suffering and negative karma or obscuration or pain and suffering onto yourself. Then allow your happiness, joy, and whatever goodness you want to send out with breath. Do like that. So then the brief dedication. So that's a very good way to do it. That's why it's in here. We can make use of it. In general, Cho practice, when we do in our lineage, we start with this. But online practice, we don't have a time. That's why we directly dive into the main practice. But I think this is very important practice we can do every day at home. Of course, sometimes we don't have time, then we can go very quickly. But still, it's nice to do and from beginning to end. Let's do refuge and bodhicitta. Just before even start with refuge and bodhicitta, just take a moment to rest and come to the body. Invite awareness, breath into your body. Everything have to be coming from this embodied awareness, not just on the head, so that whatever we decide become a genuine, like embodied expression. So each time we finish this specific section, then just take a moment to feel if refuge and bodhicitta is embodied in you, kind of affirmation or confirmation of your direction, so that whatever we practice now will become or imbued by refuge and bodhicitta. Okay, now Guru Yoga. This particular Guru Yoga encompasses the essential point of all the Buddha Dharma: wisdom, compassion, and power. You know this seven limb practice. Each time you practice, you just make it specific. Each time, for example, when we come to the open acknowledgement, this is so-called confession. Then it's saying like, I acknowledge each with strong heartfelt remorse. See, take a moment to remember, what do I regret? What do I openly acknowledge? What fault, mistake I've done without a sense of guilt. It's become very powerful if we do this way every day. Choose one thing to purify. Otherwise, it become a little more just reciting, not really connecting to the embodied experience. Okay, next one, rejoice. Again, same thing. What would you rejoice? Rejoice, not only rejoice in the awakened being or awakened masters, rejoicing in your own act, what you have done. You feel good about what your heart really open up by thinking about it. Yeah, I've done well. That sort of feeling. So this line particularly, we are rejoicing in the virtue of this guru in the form of Lama Tsongkhapa. But here said abandoning eight worldly concern. See, if you have that experience, when you had a chance to indulge in, for example, your own desire, but then you are able to stop it. You are able to tame your own mind. Or you are about to get angry or aversion, then you can step back and you are able to see your own mind restrained. Those things you can rejoice. So you have to request the teaching. The reason we are all here, opportunity to study, practice, listen to the awakened teaching, is because we requested. We prayed in our past life, or maybe early of our life. That's why we need to continue. Maybe it does not need to be in a verbal way, but from heart, like I have to have some kind of humility. I want to study, I want to make a deeper connection to these teachings, awakened teaching, those kind of, so I want you to connect to that kind of feeling, humilities and yawning and aspiration. So mandala offering, this one, I want you to learn the melody. So I want you to do with the melodies. Imagining mandala. さしぷき純真めとたりらりし Nihinde Gembadi Sange Shindu Mihite Buai Dokunanda Shinda Chobaru Shoi Danguru Rana Mandara Kaniru Yata Yami. And now the Mixema. So this prayer encompasses entire I was talking about the essence of the Buddha Dharma, compassion and wisdom and power. Those three things. Avalokiteshvara, Manjushri, and Vajrapani. Then it's nice when we have time do the source of all good quality, or sometimes it's nice to do the three principal aspect of the path. You can alternate if you like. So now we request the Guru to come into you, merge into you, become one with you. So when we say the Guru, maybe need to say Guru is whoever you have teachers. Everything is encompassed in this particular entity called the Guru, which is a reflection of your true nature. Okay. At this point, you meditate, imagine awakened mind, body, speech merged into you. Then you awaken body, speech, mind manifested. Then we practice the Kusari resting meditation. No reference point, like a blue sky without any cloud, without even a speck of fear or hope, joy or sorrow. Rest in that. Rest as that. Just a reminder from the Kempo Gansha's instruction on this point. Keep your body straight. Refrain from talking. Open your mouth slightly and let the breath flow naturally. Don't pursue the past and don't invite the future. Simply rest naturally in the naked, ordinary mind of the immediate present without trying to correct it or replace it. Releasing more and more. If you rest like that, your mind essence is clear and expansive, vivid and naked, without any concerns about thought or recollection, joy or pain. That is Rippa awareness. Rest in that loosely. So while you are resting in that, let's recite or chant realization song. So this is how to meditate on ultimate bodhicitta. We start with meditating on ultimate bodhicitta. So as if we come to the top of the mountain first, then your heart opens, open to all beings. So next one is Tonglen practice. Love and compassion leads to the bodhicitta, relative bodhicitta. So I want you to experience Tonglen, complete open-heartedness. It's good to practice with breath as well. So that awareness you rested is doing this Tonglen. As if great mothers sending out unconditional love and taking unbearable suffering of all beings onto herself. This one, if you like, you can keep your eyes closed to connect to more feeling and emotion, all these human qualities you can. So if we can practice, or if we can bring these three things, Guru Yoga, meditating on the ultimate bodhicitta, and practicing relative bodhicitta, all these three things, bring this to our daily life, moment to moment experience, then our life becomes so meaningful. Every moment we are practicing spiritual practice, whatever we do, see if we can take a moment to consider how I can integrate this practice into my own life. Of course, we have some kind of formal practice this way. Perhaps in the morning we practice, whatever time available. Then rest of the day, live like this. Live in presence with wisdom of emptiness, ultimate nature, complete open-heartedness. It's nice practice. This is such a rich practice, no? It's called preliminaries, but nothing about the preliminary to something main things. This itself is a practice. Yes, see, this is a ear whisper lineage style. This short, relatively short preliminary practice encompassing everything, not asking you to do hundreds, thousands of each point. Of course, we have those practice as well, but in terms of practice or this ear whispered wandering yogi, not supported by big monastery, more emphasis on the intimate direct experiences. Then this kind of compact practice encompassing all the elements of the path to awakening become a very meaningful, and also you can taste it, very tasty, not really elaborated all these languages and big text, but just one session you do. We did like half an hour or so session. Still you are able to taste a little bit of, ultimate bodhicitta, a little bit of relative bodhicitta, a little bit of Guru Yoga. That's the way how we need to practice and get a little bit of taste. It's not about a lot of, things at one time. And, of course, that has a value to it, but you know what I mean? So this is the ear whispered style, like our style, my style at least.
Yesterday with the Healing Cho, it really struck me the Tonglen quality of that. And I know when I first started doing Tonglen without really instruction and everything a long time ago, I was really, I would just sit there and suffer. And so I don't think I really had the right idea about it.
Yeah, because nowadays Tonren is very getting popular next to mindfulness. Without the context, people get Tonren teaching, Tonren meditation, even some teachers started teaching. This ego self cannot do Tonren. This ordinary self, me, I cannot do Tonren. Drowning mother cannot help the drowning child. Initially, we rested, right? Ultimate. We have to have this sense of me beyond this small, limited, separate self. We have to have that, maybe may not be complete, but at least a glimpse into this ultimate view of who and what we truly are. Otherwise, it gets trapped like that, kind of guilt or whatever, all this kind of emotionality comes out. It's profound practice, and the Chu is part of it. Have you read the articles which I wrote for Buddha Dharma? Okay, I talked about the three levels or three dimensions of the Chu. Then second one, I talk, actually, I quite emphasize that one. I call the fierce Tonren. That one, maybe you might like to just take a look at my view of Chiu practice in the context of Fierce Tonlen. Those are all based on my own experience.
Yes.
See how that fits in your own experience.
And then the thing is, I have too many practices, because I have other practices. So I'm just trying to figure out how to sort it out and how to not do anything because I have too many things, or do some things poorly or not very well, or you know what I mean. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm working on.
I think especially for us who have been practicing and on this path for a long time, really important to simplify, and also more and more connect to our inner wisdom, so to speak. What's important, really. Sometimes on my path, some point, I didn't practice at all. I mean, in terms of formal things, but that's okay for me. I practice more mentally. So just started to trust our own wisdom more and more. Then you started to simplify what's important. Simplify, but doesn't mean make it like a little easy. No, make it more juicy. Simple but very juicy, and then come directly to your own experience, direct experience. That sort of practice important. Then, of course, lots of practice in a toolbox. That's very good. But then you don't need to do all of them. Otherwise, we don't get the taste of each one. It will come, in you. I think your wisdom will dawn, and what's important for you.
My wisdom will dawn. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yeah.
Looking forward. I'll let you know if that happens.
Because it's already, Dharma is simple, actually. That's simple in the sense that very simple. Realize the true nature, maintain it, and then live from there. Those three things. And for that, lots of practice and a method. But then you will know what's really resonates.